I remember when everything was such a mystery. Hold your breath, there's nothing here for me. Wondering if there's something out there, something out there. Oh my God, is this happening? Tell me that this is not a dream. 'Cause you walked in at the right time now. It's been 3 days and it's getting hard to wait. 'Cause I got 3 more weeks to go. I'm dying just to see your face. In a matter of time, I'll leave without a trace. I'm gonna pack my bags and run away, no matter what they say. Yeah, I'm dying just to see your face. In a matter of time, I'll leave without a trace. I'm gonna leave this town and run away, no matter what they say.
Oh, you caught me sleeping here. Good evening and welcome to IITW Radio. It is 1/23 of 2019. Holy crap, the year's already smoking by. Before we get started, I want to give a hello, Tammy. Tammy's my partner, my right-hand man or woman. Anyways, Tammy will be answering some questions for you guys tonight. I want to give a shout out to one of our county commissioners or city commissioners over in Crescent City that just passed away a couple days ago, Marcus Hardy. You guys remember to keep him in your, or not him, but he doesn't need any prayers anymore, but keep his family and stuff in your prayers. The guy was a hell of a nice guy, and make sure you pay your respects to him. Okay, let's get to the weather real quick. The weather for this week is going to be rain, fall, winter, spring, rain, fall, winter, spring all week. So for the next, 2 months, just get used to it. Okay, tonight we have Miss Helen Hayes on here. How you doing, Miss Hayes?
Hey, how are you? Thank you for having me.
I'm doing pretty good. I guess we'll just jump right into it. We have the Florida. I gave you a list of my questions.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
For you guys that want to know the questions.
Yeah, here are the questions that he gave me, y'all.
So I'm going to rely on you guys tonight. There's a program. It's called Rebuild Florida, correct?
That is correct.
Okay. And we'll give it a second for people to jump in here. So how long have you been in Putnam County?
I've been here probably about 18 years now.
18?
18 years, yeah. I came over from St. Augustine over to Putnam County.
What made you move to Putnam County?
Well, I came over here and I was going to do an internship for the government, and I taught some pre-law and established a program for the Department of Labor. So it was a great experience.
And now you're working for who?
Right now, what happened was I'm with the St. John's Housing Partnership, and I came through them through a grant through the DEO, the Department of Economic Opportunity. And so what they did is we saw there was a great need for disaster services here in Putnam County, and they went ahead and assigned me over there under the direction of Bill Lazar, who's the executive director.
I gotta give a shout out right now. Jolene's she said good evening, everybody.
Oh.
So Jolene's one of our regular listeners. So is Angie.
Well, hey, Jolene and Angie.
And there'll be a bunch more here in just a minute.
That's okay. We'll just keep rolling.
Before I go on, let me get the opening song was Counting the Days, and that was by Midsummer Dreams. That's who opened it up tonight. So, but there's still a lot of damage. I mean, in Putnam County that was left over from Irma and stuff. And
yeah, there's a lot of people are still out here needing help. I didn't mean to cut you off. But tonight is like really, really important for the folks out there to understand that there are some programs that are available to them. That we're here, we're willing to reach out to you. We're going to provide some really good information, some phone numbers for you to call, especially on this program we're going to talk about tonight, the Rebuild Florida. There is going to be a cutoff by March 29th. That they need to call in and do their intake. It takes like 5 minutes. But what I found, I've been with the St. John's Housing Partnership now for a year, and we're barely touching the surface here in Putnam County. And just for some soft numbers, just a couple months ago, we had like $1.6 million in damages, and folks It totaled, I think, like $170,000 in roofs. And those folks are still waiting to get help. But I also want to point out that St. John's Housing Partnership is huge over in St. Augustine as well. And there are folks that are just now getting help for Matthew damages. So this is telling you how many years now people have been waiting that are still struggling trying to get, help out there to rebuild their homes.
Now, does this program include past hurricanes as well, or
It
does it
does.
just include Irma?
Well,
Okay.
this one here, let me double check on that. I think this one is going to be, I have to look down and here. I think this one's going to be for Hurricane Irma.
Okay. So for Hurricane Irma.
The Rebuild Florida is Hurricane Irma.
Okay. So now I got to give a shout out to Jackie and Miss Debbie. Miss Debbie, I need the lasagna. I had to throw that in. She makes
Gosh.
incredible lasagna.
Is that her knocking at our door? She's bringing us dinner.
Oh God, I can only hope. Yeah, the cutoff date is March 29th, you said.
Correct.
So they only have about a month.
Well, the cutoff date was actually in December. And because there were so many people that just didn't know about the program, they went ahead and called they called up at the DEO and asked them if they can go ahead and extend it, and they did until March.
If you guys and gals have questions that you want to pop up or send them in a private message, let me ask Marie, can you pull them up in a private message? No? Okay. If you want to send message, she does have a website set up or not a website, I'm sorry, an email address through us. And we'll put it up a couple times during the...
It's actually across the top the whole night.
Do what?
It's across the top the whole night.
I can't, Chris, her mic's dead.
She said it's across the top of it.
Okay.
Yeah, during the
if
whole
you-
show, it's going to be across the top.
Yeah.
For more information, you can email IITW Radio Rebuild @gmail.com, and Miss Helen will be happy to answer all your questions.
Yeah. But tonight, if you want to ask her, Angie said it sounds like an excellent program. That is wonderful that they can extend the deadline. This is going to be one of you guys' questions too. I'm going to have a contest coming up, and it's going to have some questions about some crazy stuff that I do on here every night before I start the show. I eat a radish. Don't ask me why. I've just been doing it forever. What did Ashley say there? But I'll put that up on there one time. Oh, Ashley said hi, Travis and Tammy. So now, if they've already gotten money from FEMA, does that mean they still can't apply for this program?
No, they're still eligible to apply. So here's what's really good about Rebuild Florida. A lot of folks did not apply through FEMA. And so you don't have to have a FEMA number. So it's two different entities. So for those that applied for FEMA, if we're going to start there, everybody gets denied the very first time. And then people give up and they say, okay, FEMA's not going to do anything for me, so therefore I'm just not going to do anything else. I don't want y'all to do that, because you're able to go back and appeal as many times as you need to. And another thing is that if you need the help, please, go ahead and send me an email, and then I'll walk you through those steps. We also will do the case management for you as well. So you apply, you get denied, you're waiting on a contractor to come in. And of course, the contractors are few and far between, because when you have one hurricane that hit, you had Matthew, and then you had Irma, and then after Irma, then we had Florence, I think it was, in the Carolinas, and then over to Michael. So all the local contractors, if they don't stay here, they're traveling. They're going to be going to the different states. And then that's the time that people are waiting, getting frustrated, because when you want to do an appeal, you need to have some type of contractor's estimate for them to say, I have this amount of damages. Now, what people don't understand about FEMA's not here to come in and rebuild your home. They have a maximum amount, I think it's $33,000. That doesn't mean you're going to get that, because they're not going to say, well, I'm going to come in, you got $30,000 worth of damage, we're going to go ahead and send you that money or put it in your bank account. They just don't do that. They do just like the bare minimum to make your home habitable again. And so, for instance, like if you have a lot of mold damage, that's something that they take and stand up and take notice, because they don't want you in your home breathing that, because mold can kill you. And so once you get a certain amount of money through FEMA, then people are going, well, what am I going to do if I have $30,000 worth of damage and you only gave me $10,000? Where am I going to get the 20 from? Then there was the other program during that time, which is called the Small Business Loan, where you're able to apply for that. But if you financially are having a hardship right now, how are you going to be able to pay a loan back and still continue to pay your rent or pay mortgage on that home and then feed your family and so forth and so on? It makes it really difficult. Then what we do is we reach out to the different organizations that are here in Putnam County, and I have a list of them that we'll go through in a little bit. And then we reach out to them and say, hey, do you have any money? So an example is you have $30,000 worth of damage. You got $10,000 from FEMA. You need $20,000 more. You need a new roof. Do I have an agency that will help me pay for the full roof, or an agency that will pay half of the roof? And then I'll go to another church group, all these different agencies that we're partnering with to see if everybody can put a little bit of money in, then we can make up that $20,000 and then go ahead and start working on that person's home. But remember, it's not now, if you have that one home, how many thousands of other people here in Putnam County haven't been serviced? And then that process starts all over again. So with Rebuild Florida that came up, are we able to put the number up by any chance for them to call, or are you just going to
It's already posted in the comments. It's pinned on the top.
Oh, okay, perfect. So let me tell you all a little bit about Rebuild Florida. I don't represent them, but we're trying to get the word out to everybody in Putnam County. When you call the 844-833-1010, again, it's 844-833-1010, it's going to take about 5 minutes. They're going to do an intake on you. They're not going to ask you, did you file for FEMA or you didn't file for FEMA, because that doesn't matter at this point.
This says the whole application takes about 15 to 30 minutes.
It takes about 5 to 10 minutes of your time, the initial application.
Okay.
So what they're going to do is they're just going to get some basic information: your name, address, when did the damage occur, how much damage do you have that you know of, and they'll say how many people are in your home. They're focusing in on folks that have children under the age of 18. Especially those under the age of 5, the elderly, people with disabilities. So they put those folks kind of like as a priority. People that whose homes have like holes in their roofs, and the water's pouring in, and you're having issues. And so they're going to just ask you those questions. And then after they do that, they're going to say to you, do you want us to contact you by email, by phone? And we'll send you out an application. Okay. Then you'll fill out the application, and after that's done, they have their own case managers and they have their own contractors.
Now, is there an online application that they can fill out as well?
They can go to, I believe it's rebuildflorida.gov. Rebuildflorida.gov. And so you can go online and fill out that application as well. Once they do that short intake with you, they're going to give you a case number. You need to make sure you write that number down, because somewhere down the road, they're going to call you back and say, do you have your case number? It will just go a lot quicker. If you forget, I'm sure they can look you up other ways. And then once that's done, they send you the packet. Then they're going to say, we're going to send our own contractors out to your home. And they will come out and they will go ahead and assess the damage in your home. And then after that's done, they go back and they decide what kind of an award that you're going to get. Now, for the folks that live in mobile homes, if they have a program that if your mobile home is 5 years of age or older and it sustained $15,000 of damage or more, you may be eligible for them to come in and take out your damaged mobile home and put a new one in. Now, with that said...
excuse me one second. So if your house is over...
not your house, your mobile home. There's two different things.
Okay, yeah. If your mobile home is over how many years?
5 years.
5
years
old?
of age or older.
Then and you got more than $15,000 worth of damage, you might qualify for your home to be moved out and then
yes,
a new one put back in.
Absolutely.
Now, is this like a loan, or do they have to pay anything back?
No. This is what happened is the DEO, which is the Department of Economic Opportunity, and through HUD, they received a $60 million grant funds for the state of Florida. So that's why we're encouraging everybody, call that number, get on that list. Just if you may be 150 or the 300 person, don't worry about that, because they will be able to come in and try to help you with something in your home. You know what I'm saying? So
March the 29th is just the cutoff date to get your application in.
Right.
Somebody wrote in about, what about permits?
Okay, they take care of everything. You as the homeowner, and they also help out renters. So I want to make sure that people are aware of that too. They help people that are renting. So it's important that if you go to that rebuildflorida.gov, it's about 55 pages of information, and it outlines everything. And a lot of the questions that we're going to be getting tonight, they will be able to go into more depth when you read that. But to get back to that, if your mobile home is 5 years of age or older and you qualify under their requirements, they will pull the old mobile home out and then replace it with a new one. That's if you meet all their requirements. And so hopefully, that would be a good thing for everybody. Permits, you don't worry about it. Now, there was somebody brought up something about rehousing. Would they put you in a hotel while they're remodeling? So for the second part of that is if you have a mobile home or a brick and mortar home, okay, and the damage is under $15,000, they'll go in and they'll pay to have everything repaired and rebuilt in your home or your mobile home as well. So you've got where we have, category 1, where it's under 15,000, they come in and repair and rebuild. Over 15,000, if you qualify, it will be a replacement. So another question that came up was, if I have a 3-bedroom home, mobile home, and I'm the only one there, they may turn around and say, listen, we're not going to give you a 3-bedroom mobile home, but we'll give you a 2-bedroom, 2-bath mobile home. I don't see why anybody would not take that.
Well, not if you're getting a brand new home.
Not a brand new home.
To replace the garbage that's there.
Listen, this is so important for Putnam County, because, we've been kind of like neglected over here. And I want to make sure that we can pull in every resource possible that we can get in here for everyone to take advantage of this program.
Yeah. Sounds like a great program. Joey said, "What's up?" I don't know if he's talking to me or you,
Okay,
Helen.
hey, Joey.
Probably all of
Hey,
us.
Joey.
No, that sounds like a great program, and I know there's a lot of people that are going to qualify for it, because we get calls every day. I just had to talk to a lady, I think it was yesterday. Pull that up right there. Fritz wrote, "How about content replacement?"
I don't know the answer to that. However, when you do call in, if you ask them that question, they're better qualified to answer that.
Now, is that something they should, because we've got, if you guys and gals that are on YouTube and different places, if you look at the top, you'll see it says her email that she's got. Let's see, it says, let me finish this. The rebuild there, can they send you questions like that, and then you find out the answers and email them back, or do they need to go ahead with the Rebuild Florida website?
I would ask those questions when you're doing your intake, because they have their case managers that are answering the phone and the operators, and they have all that information right there at their fingertips, and so they're probably the best assets for them to go ahead and talk to them.
Okay, this is a good question that just came in. It says, people are worried because some damages have caused their homes to be to the point of almost condemned, and they're scared about the assessment portion, like DCF, getting involved. So that person, I know who it is, and they have a kid. So, how's that going to affect them? Are these guys going to come in and go, oh, hell, look at the conditions you're living in. We're going to call DCF and report you.
That's a really great question. And what I want you to be aware of as well is that I have a very good rapport with code enforcement here in Putnam County. I just spoke with Charlie, and then there's Derek, and Charlie's moved up into another area. But those guys and the whole staff there, their goal is not to put you out of their home. They're here to work with you. I'm talk to them almost on a daily basis, and they'll contact me and say, hey, listen, I have this home. Is there something we can do? And if it's like an emergency repair, I'll reach out to Habitat for Humanity. What a great organization. Jim Melfi and his staff down there, they're just wonderful. That organization will step in if they have the funding. They have I can't even tell you the hundreds of homes just since Hurricane Irma that we've gone in and done emergency repairs, and code enforcement has just said, okay, it's repaired, and they move on. So as far as DCF is concerned, I really can't answer if they're mandated reporters or not, but their goal is to come in and fix your home, not throw you out and take your children from you. Right. So
Joe Fritz just wrote in and said she joined in late, and she said, I don't see the email. Fritz, if you'll look at the top of the Putman Way post, you'll see the email. Or if you're watching it on YouTube, it should come up. It'll be right up on the top.
It's in his. It's also been replied to him.
Oh, okay. Also, one of our readers wrote in, my mother owned her home during the damages. She has since passed away, and it is in probate. I'm getting it. Can I still be eligible?
You know, I don't have an answer for that question, but if she calls the Rebuild Florida number and asks them, I think they're better equipped to answer that. But I believe that you have to show that you are the owner of the property, or you are renting. You have to have been living in the home during the time. So as far as that goes, that's like a legal question, and I don't have the answer for that. I'm sorry.
Okay, that's a good question, huh?
It was a good question.
Yeah, I had a couple of my readers that are listeners and stuff that had questions, different questions, and the one was the lady, the back of her, you know what, Patricia, if you're listening, which I know she is, write in about the question that you had, and then, okay, they got the number up for you. Yeah, Jolie, that's just one you're going to have to ask when you call in. I'm not sure, and she's not sure, but I'm sure they'll get you the answer. But if it goes before the probate, if it shows it was in probate, and I know that you were living there with your mom at the time, and it's in probate, and you guys have been in the house, I don't see why they wouldn't cover you, but I'm not an attorney, and I'm not part of the state. So that's just something you'll have to ask. If not, I'll try to find out for you. But give me a few days to find that out.
I mean, he can call tomorrow morning, and they'll let him know right then and there.
Yeah, and for you guys and gals that are listening, get other people, call them up right now. If you know people that have taken damage on and they can't get, you know, they might not know about the show tonight and what it's about, because usually on Wednesday night we do some crazy stuff. Well, hell, every night we do crazy stuff, but this is an important program. And everybody in Putman County, I know there's a ton of damage still here.
Oh, yes.
I mean, I know some people in Willaca, Georgetown, up in Interlochen, all over the place, that their roofs are still leaking. Some of them still have tarps. Like on the back of Patricia's house, I believe the whole thing is still torn down. And Little Dale's is the same way. He still doesn't have drywall up. I don't even think they got any FEMA money, did they?
No.
They didn't get any FEMA money at all. FEMA never showed up.
You know, now, and that's been an issue as well. So we have been addressing that with FEMA and our FEMA rep as well, because a lot of people called and said, I applied for FEMA, they denied me. They never even came to inspect my home. So how are they denying me? And so that's where your appeal comes in. And we'll be very happy to help with that as well. We can walk you through it. We can help you write the appeal.
The appeal to FEMA, correct?
The appeal to FEMA.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so they could still get money from FEMA.
Oh yeah, that's there's not a cutoff for that right now.
Okay, I wasn't aware of that. Now, to be fair to FEMA, I know that I'm not going to sit here and bash FEMA. I did work for them for years. FEMA at the time when Irma came through, all the different hurricanes, you had them hitting Texas, you had them hitting Florida, Georgia, Alabama, Mississippi, South Carolina, and then Puerto Rico. And they got slammed, especially what went on with Texas, and it was just a snowball effect of just natural disasters. So I can't really jump on FEMA, and I'm not going to.
No, don't do that. FEMA's our friends.
It says, Crystal wrote in, is this program specifically for disasters, or can a person receive help for things they simply can't afford to fix and need help with?
Okay, so this is, the Rebuild Florida is for disaster for Hurricane Irma. For those that have like deferred maintenance, or if they have an emergency, I left a card of some resources that we can put up that on that pamphlet there, and on the back of it, it has Catholic Charities, it's got Habitat for Humanity, St. Vincent de Paul. There's so many different groups of organizations here, and there, yeah, that is it. Yeah, I can't read that from here, but it's probably backwards on me. I know you're pulling something on me here.
We'll take shots of it and put it up. I just wanted to see what it is.
It's our United Way. Yeah, so There it's some really great resources for you to be able to call, and it comes with the phone numbers, and like they help with electric bills. You know, it will tell you where all the different food banks are at. Okay, I hear a lot of clicking going. Okay, so
They
yeah.
click when they want to get my attention.
Oh, is that what it is? Okay,
And then
all right. So yeah,
somewhere
so
around here, I have a cowbell if you want to ring it at me
okay.
to get my attention.
Yeah. So I mean, for other folks that didn't sustain hurricane damages, we do have other entities out here that will be able to. You can reach out to them and see what they can do for you.
So during they'll schedule an appointment with you, and then an inspector will inspect the work. In case you guys and gals know, we're going to have this up as well.
And those
This
are
is
the
the
steps. Mm-hmm.
that you can take to follow, and you can actually we'll put it up. They can print it off of the website, right?
Yes, and it's
Okay.
also listed in the comments. I've pinned it in the comments a couple times tonight so they can stay on track with
Okay,
it.
there's the rebuild, Florida, the steps to repair and rebuild or replace your home.
Mhm. Oh, there it is. Great.
is.
That's good.
So that's actually up there. But it says they'll send somebody out and determine the remaining repairs needed to complete the home. Our team will also send inspectors to test for lead-based paints in the home construction prior to 1978. Now, do they also check for asbestos and stuff? Or
Yeah, they'll do the mold testing and everything. And we do have an agency who also, their Hearts and Hands. And so if you feel that you may have some mold in your home, if you'll go ahead and send us an email on that, that's a really quick intake that I can give you the email address. You can go online and apply for it yourself, or we can assist you with that. Because, there's a lot of people that don't use a computer. So we want to be able to reach out, to as many folks as possible that that aren't used to working on a computer, or the elderly, and they don't understand how that works. We're here to go ahead and walk you through that process.
yeah, I was reading some of the stuff. It was pretty good. I mean, especially, we'll just recap for you guys and gals that have joined in. This is a program that's called Rebuild Florida. Miss Helen Hayes is actually helping out with it to help people out with getting the applications and stuff. This program is to help you out if you had damage during Hurricane Irma and still haven't had it fixed. Now, if you did get a grant from, or not a grant, but
An
if
award.
you did get an award from FEMA and your damage is exceeded, which everybody that I know the damage has exceeded that, then they will go ahead and help with the repairs. Now, that's all mobile homes as well as brick houses, right? Brick and mortar?
Right, brick and mortar and mobile homes.
Okay. And then if your mobile home is over how many years? 7?
5.
5 years old, then it's possible that you could have the house removed, the mobile home removed, and another one put in there. And they're going to take care of all the inspections and everything, I guess from A to Z. Now,
Right.
on that, dude, now say they come in with one of the questions that I just saw a minute ago said, if they come in, do they have to have the septic replaced? If they come in and put another mobile home, are they going to have their septic replaced on the thing? And if they do, is that some part of what they cover?
I believe that that's going to have to be answered by Rebuild Florida as far as any septic goes. I know that they, just in the information that I have that I'm giving out to everybody it deals with their damaged homes. Now, if their septic tank was damaged by the hurricane, then I'm pretty sure that may be something that they'll take a look at.
Okay.
As well. And so also I wanted, if you don't mind if I interject something here, there's also another program with the Red Cross, okay? And this is for folks that sustained $17,000 worth of damage or more. And it can't be just like a friend of yours that's a contractor. It has to be either insurance, which we haven't talked about that either. And that's another thing. So if you have what's called an HDP, which is a housing development plan, or an adjuster's report through your insurance company, and it states on there that you received $17,000 worth of damage or more, there's a program through the Red Cross where they give emergency funding up to $6,500 to help you with the cost of repairs or whatever you need that for.
Okay. Now, see, I thought all these programs had ran out. Once
No.
FEMA had left town, I thought
No,
they
we're
just
still
left
doing
town.
this. No. And so with insurance as well, now there are folks that, like the insurance, they'll come in and they'll say, okay, their job is to lowball your claim. And
Right.
so they're going to say, no, we're not going to cover that because that's not covered in your policy. Well, if it's not covered in your policy, there isn't anything that we can do to help you. However, if they come in and they're giving you 25 cents a square foot to remove drywall, well, there's no contractor in the state of Florida or anywhere that is going to remove drywall for 25 cents a square foot. That's just not going to happen. And then part of what my job is I go back and I reopen the claim, and then I do an appeal with your insurance company saying, no, this is too low, and we're going to have to go back and work these numbers. And so last month we had, I think it was like $98,000 in claims for some homes that we were able to recoup that money from their insurance company because we went back and appealed it and said that there's absolutely no way I can fix this woman's home or this man's home or this family's home for the amount of money that you're saying. So we would go back, rework the claim, and of course, it's back and forth. And then, excuse me, at the end of the day, then we end up getting, almost either all the money or half the money or 3/4 of the money in order to repair their home. So if they don't get the full amount, then that's where then we reach out to the other entities and we ask them, look, I need $5,000 from you to repair this part of the home, and then I'll go to somebody else and try to get some money and go to each organization until I get enough money to be able to rebuild that person's home.
Now, another question that was asked, and it was asked before we even went on the air.
Okay.
What about out-of-state stuff? Because there was people in Texas, Louisiana, Mississippi, and Alabama that's already written in, and Georgia.
Okay, so Rebuild Florida is just for Florida. Now, there is an organization called Endeavors, and I don't have their, if you go to endeavors.com, they do handle Texas, they handle veterans, they handle different, excuse me for looking down here. Let me look at my notes real quick here on that. They provide disaster services for 18 counties here in Florida and also Texas and some other areas. So if you go to Endeavors, Endeavors, endeavors.com, and you'll be able to get the information and they'll tell you what states they cover.
Okay. What was the other question? I should have written it down just a minute ago. They just posted it up there on the thing for the endeavors.com. So if you guys look in the comment section, you'll see it. Nora just joined in. I actually talked to Nora today on the phone. We were talking about this. You might have to go back and catch up, Nora. Then rewatch the show. You guys can watch it. You can pick it up on YouTube at IITWradio.com. You can go back and watch it through Facebook, through the Putman Way, and also through IITW Radio on Facebook. There's all kinds of places you guys can watch it at. But you can catch up and find out more and more about the program because we're only got 27 minutes and still a bunch of stuff to talk about. One of the questions that earlier, I'm trying to think what it was now.
All right, while you're thinking about that, I'm going to jump in here with something else.
Go right
Okay.
ahead.
Okay.
It'll hit me right in the middle of it.
Okay, all right. And then you can just cut me off. That's okay. We'll go back to it. So there is good news for those folks that have damaged roofs. So we have partnered up with St. Vincent de Paul, and they have offered to pay half of some of the roofs. And then Bill Lazar was the executive director of the St. John's Housing Partnership. He was able to get a grant for a certain amount of monies to where it's called Volunteer Florida, and we're able to match another organization. So if we have a roof that's $5,000 and we have St. Vincent de Paul will pay $2,500, then we'll use $2,500 out of that matching grant for as long as the funds are available to go ahead and then put a roof on someone's home. And so if you need a roof, please, email us at the email address you see on the screen there. And let's go ahead and talk.
IITW Radio Rebuild at gmail.com.
Right.
And that's going to go straight to you. That's not going to come into us. That's going to go straight to Miss Helen. The question that I wrote it down where you were talking, local businesses.
Okay.
We had talked about this over the last couple of days. The local businesses that want to get involved, that want to do the repairs on stuff.
Right.
What do they need to do?
Oh, that would be awesome. They can contact me, or they can call you here and then, then just get in touch with me and then we'll go from there.
Yeah. So if you guys and gals have businesses that are setting up mobile homes or doing home repairs, now you're going to have to be licensed, insured, and have a contractor's license.
Yeah, licensed, insured, bonded, and carry workman's comp. And so I want to encourage, I'm glad you brought that up, because anybody that is a contractor and you're licensed through the state of Florida, I would encourage you to go ahead and call Rebuild Florida, see if you can get on that list, and see if I'd love for them to support us locally here in Putnam County and send some of that work to our contractors and roofing contractors, electricians. And so I would give them a call. What's the last thing they could say is, no, we have our own group and we're not hiring within, outside of that. But if you don't ask, you won't ever know.
Right now, does this also include someone put that their driveway had gotten messed up, that coming into their house and it caused the house to flood, bring up water
wow.
into the bottom of it?
Yeah, if they filed for, we'll find out if they filed for FEMA. And then go from there, and then they call Rebuild Florida, because like I said, I don't know everything that Rebuild is going to cover. That's why we wanted just to give everybody the phone number on some of these questions that I don't have the answer for, that they'd be best to answer that.
Yeah, and this is on the cutoff date for them getting their application in is March 29th, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
And it's really important that, take 5 minutes. Make the call.
Yeah, because you never know. If you're going to get a new mobile home, it's worth it, especially for elderly and single parents that, have kids.
Right.
I know how hard it is. I'm a single dad, to try to do everything and then get your house repaired.
Right.
I'm remodeling my house right now, but, that's still damaged from the hurricane. It's just about done, except for the orange pumpkin paint I've got in there. It looks like I'm living in the bowels of a pumpkin.
Right.
But I've still got repairs that have to be done to mine. And I know that single parents, it's hard to work a job and then come home and then get the repairs done, especially with the money. And as much as children cost, holy cow. If I could go back, I'd be gay. None of my kids would be born.
Oh, my God. No, he didn't say that.
I'd be living in a mansion right now.
Throwing something over at him.
No, I love my kids. I joke around with them about that. But with people that have children and stuff, this is a really good program. Like Littledale has 18 or 20 kids?
6 kids.
6 kids.
Oh my God.
May seem like 18 or 20 at times.
But they still got drywall damage. They did get their roof repaired, but the inside they still. I don't even think they got FEMA money, did they?
No, they didn't.
They didn't get any FEMA money.
And I'd like to, it's called Concrobium, and that is like a really good spray. It's safe for children, pets, anybody that may have breathing issues. I bought gallons of that and poured it in spray bottles and handed it out to folks in the community. And all you do is spray it, and then, it starts eating that mold. It's so important. If you're starting to have breathing problems, if you like walking around your house and you're smelling something that's kind of pungent in the air, or if you see green and black stuff that's like in your shower or around in the baseboards anywhere, that's a good indicator that you have mold growing in your house. And if you don't have a roof that's been replaced and you're still having roof damage, that water's going to continue to come in. It's going to get on the inside of your walls. You are going to have a mess with that mold. Mold is like a cancer. It grows. And do not use bleach and water, because bleach and water is only just going to suppress it down. It's just going to cover it. And then when it dries, it's just going to come back twice as strong. So I'll get you the name of it. I don't know how to spell it.
We just put up a link for it. It's CONCROBIUM.com.
Yes, there you go.
I told you these guys I got.
You have a great staff here. I'm telling you, they just right on it.
It went up 2 seconds after you said it.
Oh my gosh, I'm so impressed.
Me too. I don't know how to do any of that stuff.
Yeah. Is that the guy behind you? What's his name?
No, Chris.
Chris,
you gonna say hi?
Hey, Chris.
Chris only shows his hand during the.
Oh, Chris.
During the show.
He's so smart.
He's a good-looking man too. Him and I both have to go get makeovers done next week. We both have to get haircuts and beard trims and everything else. Yeah, no, they're great at what they do. Tammy's over on the other end answering questions. Cameron doing stuff, and Marie and Chris and our Hobbit. You met our Hobbit.
Oh.
That's my buddy. Now,
I want to tell you about another program. I want to
Okay.
get everybody excited. I want everybody like calling everything that I'm putting out tonight. I want to make sure that everybody gets this information because you may not have hurricane damages, but you may have something else going on. So,
yeah, that was one of our questions that came in.
okay, so there's a program that I'm working with the Red Cross right now, not only about getting the major disaster funds, but we're also working on the fire alarm program right now. So we have bed shakers for folks that are deaf, hard of hearing.
That would be me.
P-
Does it
okay.
mount to the side of your bed? And
It
shakes
doesn't.
the
It
bed?
shakes your bed if there's a fire. So we have a program where the Red Cross is going to be giving out free fire alarms, and then our team will go out through the Red Cross and we'll come out to your homes. We'll install them. They'll have a number on it. So God forbid, especially now during these winter months, people are using, these little plug-in heaters. That's because that's all they have, to keep them and their family warm. And then something happens and it, in the walls or it malfunctions and there's a fire. The fact that you will have brand new fire alarm detectors installed into your home, the number will be registered into the Red Cross system, and so then the Red Cross will be able to get to you a lot quicker and service you in case if there is that type of disaster in your home. So if you need fire alarms, please go ahead and send your email in, and we'll get back with you and try to get you on that program as well.
Send that one to IITW Radio rebuild at gmail.com. And Miss Helen will give you the information on that. And we can also, if you get a website, we can go ahead and post it into this later on. If you find out you have a website you want to put on there about that or information, if you'll send it over, because we're going to wind up building you an album page so that
Oh,
people can
that's nice.
go there, and it won't cost you guys or gals anything like that.
Yeah, these
I
programs
think
are
she already
free.
put it up.
Yeah, listen, I'm
Yeah, it's right there. Rebuildflorida at gmail.com, and then put 4 fires on the RE section of it.
Oh, I thought she said I was having a bad hair day. Oh my God, I can't. What?
Who is that?
It says be hair Barbie. I thought she was telling me, Helen, you're having a bad hair day. I'm like, oh, okay.
No, I always have a bad hair day. That's why I have a hat. All I have to do is shake it,
Oh,
throw the hat
you
on.
didn't offer me a hat when I came here. You offered me everything else, but no hat.
We'll make sure you get a hat. I've got to
Okay.
order some more.
Okay.
We got some nice IITW radio hats that I'm going to be giving away, plus ink pens and stuff. We give away all kinds of stuff on here. But the that's cool as all. Now, are these? You said that it'll alert Red Cross. Do they have wireless ones that ring in? Or are these ones that are wired up? Or are they battery?
Yeah, so
operated?
the ones are going to be battery operated, and they'll go ahead and put them up for you on the wall. Because these folks, we're not going to do that because you can see me now trying to screw something in there and hit a wire and then blow your whole electrical unit out of your house. So we have trained people through the Red Cross that are trained to do that, and they'll put them up for you. And the same thing, they'll go through the whole training with the homeowner and let you know how to work it, what to look for the red light flashing to make sure that that the battery is still working. So we go through a little program with each homeowner so that they know that they're safe.
Now, do these have other things? It's not just smoke, but other things like
The carbon monoxide,
carbon
it's going to be a
monoxide.
dual one for both.
Okay, and it doesn't cost them anything to
Nothing.
get it?
It's a free program. And right now we just I want to give a shout out to the folks out there, Pat Lavelle and Veronica Glover out there in Crescent City. They have been an asset helping the folks out there in Crescent City. So they have their own group out there that they put together, Concerned Citizens of South Putnam. And they really, we went out to an event and we did 150 intakes in one day. And out of that 150, we had probably about 125 people that qualified for services. And what disqualified people is your taxes have to be paid. Okay, so if any organization in Putnam County is going to help you, your taxes need to be paid and you need to be on the deed. If you have either one of those issues, until you get that taken care of, there isn't an organization that's going to be able to step up and help you. Not that they don't want to, it's just that they can't. And here's the reason why. if with your home here, for example, with you working on it, if wasn't in your name and it was in someone else's name, and we came in and did repairs on someone's home that wasn't on the deed, then that's a liability for any agency to take on, and they're just not going to do that.
Okay. On this, you were talking about their name must be on the deed, but on the other one, on this Rebuild Florida, you were saying that even if they're a renter,
Right.
they could get help.
Yeah,
as far as fixing their house for
it's
Irma.
2 different programs.
Okay.
So that's why I'm saying with Rebuild Florida, if you get money from those folks, they have certain requirements, and they are allowed to open the door a little bit wider for you. However, for the different agencies here in Putnam County, if they're going to make that investment, they want to make sure that you own the home or you're on the deed, and then the taxes are paid. Because I think a lot of people are still under the impression that you have 7 years to pay your taxes here, and you don't. It's 22 months. And then it goes up for a tax certificate sale.
So if they're in between that 22 months, they can get the smoke alarms and stuff?
Right, yeah. So the smoke alarms is we're not even looking at as far as whether your name is on the deed or not. That's a whole totally different program.
Okay.
So did I confuse you? Because I'm throwing out a bunch of programs.
Yeah. So
I'm throwing a
even
lot
if,
of information at you here.
So if they're renters, they can still get the smoke detectors and stuff.
For no, those are not renters.
Okay.
People that are homeowners.
Okay, but if their taxes aren't caught up, they can still get the smoke detectors or not?
Okay, we're gonna.
I've got somebody that's
okay.
confusing me here.
Okay, here. So we're gonna start this over again. So I'm gonna do a quick overview. Rebuild Florida. Okay, they are gonna come in, and they're gonna assess whether or not they're either gonna rebuild your home, or they're gonna go ahead and replace your home, if you meet their requirements. That's Rebuild Florida. That's a grant funding through the Department of Economic Opportunity and through HUD. So that's Rebuild Florida. For Putnam County, all these other resources, the Red Cross, the different church organizations, the St. Vincent de Paul, the Presbyterian, who just awarded us $25,000 to help out in repairs. Some of the other different entities here in Putnam County, they have requirements that you must meet. And that is that you must be on the deed of that home. So let's say I have a home, I'm on the deed, and you're on the deed, but you don't live in the home. I have to get a letter from you stating that you're going to give me permission to get the repairs done in my home. If I don't get that letter from you, they're not going to come in and do the repairs, because then that's a legal issue. And we also have a legal team up in Jacksonville that will help out with any folks who we run across that actually quite frequently, that there are people that are on the deed of the home, and then they're not participating in the process of us repairing their home. And so then we will get the legal team involved in it, and then they go that route to see either one, get the person off there, or somehow get that letter for them to allow us to go ahead and do repairs.
Yeah. The questions keep coming in, so they
Okay.
get locked in for a couple seconds.
All right,
and then
shout
it gets
them
closed.
out.
It says one of our listeners wrote in and says, what if they're going through a hard time and can't afford to pay their taxes? Is there places that will help with taxes?
You know, there are some of those organizations on the little card that you held up there that had the United Way and then the different entities on the back of it. I think she put it up on the website.
There it is.
It wouldn't hurt. On the back of it, there's going to be a list of folks of different organizations that they can call and see if they can get assistance with that.
There
Oh,
it
that's
is.
perfect. There it is. So, I mean, all you do is you pick up the phone, call them, see what they can do, and help you out. Now, there's another thing about this taxes that I don't know if you're aware of this or not, but I received a phone call that if you were in your home during the time of Hurricane Irma, and then you had to leave because of the damages, I would encourage them to go ahead and call the tax collector's office, because I heard that they are going to reimburse folks that had to leave, reimburse those taxes for that year. So I don't have that number in front of me.
Woohoo, I had to leave. I want my money. It's like J.G. Jetworth.
Yeah.
I need my cash now.
No, but if you can prove that you had to leave your home during the time of Hurricane Irma and you were out more than 30 days. They have a program going on over there. So I would encourage y'all to go ahead and call over there and see what the qualifications of that is, and do you qualify? And then if that's the case, then you can apply that money to your taxes that are past due.
Okay. So that just applies for it. It doesn't write the whole year off. Just a month time.
If you paid in $500 on your taxes, they're going to refund you that $500, or you can apply it to the taxes, the next year's taxes.
Okay, I qualify. And she's already got the number for the tax collector up there. I
Okay,
believe.
there you go. I would call them, get the information, and see what the requirements are on that.
Now, let's see the numbers up there.
And that's also in St. Johns County, and so I would encourage that if there are other folks other than Putnam and St. Johns that are listening to this, contact your tax collector's office, find out what they can do.
Yeah, the numbers for Palaca is 386-329-0282, 386-329-0282. They're open from 8:30 a.m. to 4:30 p.m.
I also want to touch base a little bit on some folks got caught up in this forbearance with their mortgage companies, and they didn't quite understand how that programs work, and they thought, oh great, my mortgage company's giving me 6 months forbearance. But they didn't understand that after that 6 months they had to come up with that lump sum of money, and if they didn't, then that was the mortgage company's way of being able to then start foreclosure on your property. So at St. John's Housing Partnership, we offer, they had a program, and I wasn't able to get the information in time, but they did have a program where they were helping people pay their mortgage, and we're waiting to see if that's going to come back around again. If it does, I'll make sure I let you know like ASAP, because there's a lot of people still struggling trying to get caught up with their mortgage being behind a couple of months. But we do offer credit counseling, helping you with the mortgage company if they're trying to foreclosure. We have foreclosure programs. So any type of issue like that you're dealing with right now, it won't hurt for you to go ahead and send us an email. We'll look at it, assess it, see if you fall in any one of the programs that we offer, and we'll be happy to go ahead and put you through to the person that's handling that department.
Yeah, and to you guys and gals that have questions that are coming in, I can't read all of them right now. I don't have that much time, and there's way too many questions that are coming in. So if you'll email Ms. Helen at the IITW Radio rebuild@gmail.com, she'll be able to answer a lot of those questions. But I think, what's the chances of getting you back in here in the next couple of weeks to get
I'd love
back
to come
in
back.
to go over? 'Cause that way it'll give us time,
Okay.
the whole Putman Way and IITW Radio staff, to get everything together and then get more of the questions and go through them, because some of the questions are stupid.
No,
one
there's
was-
no stupid question.
My son threw a rock through the window during Irma. Does that mean that I get to write that off?
Okay, well, it's not a stupid question, but the answer is no.
Whip his butt.
Nothing ventured, nothing gained.
Yeah, but it's okay. Ask away.
Apparently, he was throwing rocks up and watching the wind carry him the pebbles.
Oh, now that's talent.
They were hitting. Get a slingshot and shoot him in the butt with it a couple of times. Now I'm going to have DCF calling me up, going after me.
Oh my
Now, all the programs you've been listing, we have been posting in the comments below, so people could scroll back through the comments and look at it. Like, we have the St. John's Housing Partnership. That link's in there. Also, the tax collector's office. All those have been being posted while you're talking about them.
Oh, that is awesome.
Now, we'll recap it real quick here.
Okay.
If you have a home that was damaged during Irma, even though you got FEMA money on it, you still might qualify for anything that went above and beyond what FEMA gave you. If your roof is still leaking, if your house is over, go ahead, 5 years old.
Okay, your mobile home is 5 years of
Mobile home.
age or older and sustained more than $15,000 worth of damages, then you may qualify for a new mobile home. If it's under $15,000, you may qualify for them to come in and repair.
It might, if you have a 3-bedroom home, they might give you a 2-bedroom home if it's only you
Right.
living there yourself.
Right, and I wouldn't pass that up. I mean, both my homes got destroyed in the Hurricane Irma.
Yeah. Also, with your taxes and stuff, you could get help with that by contacting the tax collector's office only during the time that Irma was here.
Right,
But
if you were displaced from your home.
You could possibly get back money for your taxes
Right.
during that year. Also, they've got a program that with the Red Cross that will come in and put like shakers
Yeah,
on your
smoke
bed that are fire
detectors.
alarms. They cover multiple things, and that will wake you up. We have so many fires every time when it gets this time of year.
Yes.
People go and buy cheap heaters in their walls that are not UL approved through the United States. They come out of Japan or China or wherever they come from, and then they will burn their house down or it'll catch on fire. We go to way too many of those. So that's another good program. And then they have to have their taxes caught up. But there are some places like the tax collector's office. And by the way, if you gals call the tax collector's office instead of waiting to after your house goes into foreclosure, you can get an extension. Not back from 2020 or 2012, but, you can get an extension on a lot of the stuff, especially if it's in with a year old. You can get an extension on it.
A lot of people are struggling out here during the time of the hurricane. That's the reason why their taxes are past due. They were sitting here like, we had no electricity. Some folks didn't have electricity for a couple of weeks, and they had to go and bring ice in and water in, and the money that they were going to use for their taxes, they ended up having to use for, other necessities just to get through the hurricane. And so things like that, are good reasons to reach out and have some of these resources help us. I think she's writing us a question. Okay.
That's gotta keep going.
So, but, I thank you so much for having me here. I'm hoping that, that I've been able to reach out and make contact with a lot of people out here in our community that need this help. If you do call Rebuild Florida, if you can just go ahead and email me and let me know, say, hey, my name is so-and-so, here's my case number. I'll be able to start tracking this and our numbers of how many people we've been able to help that have heard about the program today. And tell your friends, give them the number. Say, look, call, do the intake. Nothing. Something is better than nothing at this point.
Let's see. One of the readers wrote in and said, our roads are still flooded, and said maybe 2 years. What can we do with this deadline?
The roads?
As far as getting a mobile home into where they're at.
Yeah.
A lot of the mobile homes. So if they get a mobile home, they might not be able to get it put back into where they're going to be at.
We actually have some emergency personnel in some areas that still can't reach the residents of Putnam County because the roads are still flooded so bad.
That is a concern, and I had a client who brought that to my attention, and here's where one of the issues is at. If it's a private road, the county is not going to pay. They will not pay to repair the road, period. But if it's a county road, then it's up to them to maintain the roads. And then if they need to get that mobile home back in there, I'm sure that's something that Rebuild Florida will make contact with the county and come up with some type of conclusion in order to, resolve that issue.
It says we had a reader write in and write, is this a 24/7 number, or is there just certain hours that they can call?
Well, that's a good question. So let's look at our flyer. We'll look at it together here. It doesn't say that there's a certain time to call, so maybe we should try to call it. Who has a cell phone? Let's call them. Let's do a mock call here and see if they answer.
I don't understand what this one says.
Well, I don't see the question.
It says there's nothing radio about this. That alone makes me want to remove myself.
Say what? Because it wasn't on the radio?
Yeah, so that alone makes me want to remove myself. When you pump out a right signal and have to put up antennas and towers, call me and I'll watch. Other than that, well,
okay, is that person in Florida?
Where
are they?
I don't know, but the reason that I do the radio, and yes, this is radio. It's not a podcast. You can call it whatever you want, but I have over 4,000 artists across the world, and we play music except for the radio show 24/7. What do we got? Somebody calling in?
Yeah, I think someone
We're
behind
going to do
you.
the line. We're working on the line right now so you guys can hear.
Okay.
So we'll find out.
Angela, thank you very much for all the information. We appreciate knowing about resources that are available to us within Putnam County.
Oh, you're so welcome. And listen, I do want to let you know that Putnam County wasn't on the list originally, and then we had to make phone calls to get us on the list for Putnam County. So how does that not surprise anyone? So, but we're on the list now. So we're getting everybody to call.
8 to 5 Eastern Standard Time.
8 to 5.
You may visit any Rebuild Florida Intake Center in person Monday through Saturday from 9 to 5 p.m. for assistance.
Okay, there you have it. That's
All
a
right.
hotline, and it does work because we just called into it.
Monday through Friday, 8 to 5. And what was it on Saturday? 9 to 5?
I don't know.
9 to 5 on Saturday?
But if you guys and gals just call the number, you can get that information. But we got to get out of here. I'm going to have you back in a few weeks.
Okay.
Thank you very much for coming in.
Well, thank you
And
for
if you
having
will-
me.
Hang on. Let me just close out this thing real quick. But thank you very much for coming on.
Okay.
Which one do we got? Okay. That was Miss Helen Hayes. She's working with you guys and gals on Rebuild Florida. Anyways, I got to give my shout outs real quick to Mama B. I need lasagna. Miss Debbie, I need lasagna. All you guys. To my sister and my niece's nephew, Annette up in North Carolina, or in Louisiana. My friends up in North Carolina. You guys remember to always be respectful to your first responders. Move out of the way. When you see a volunteer firefighter, go up and thank them, or a police officer, and thank them for their service, what they do, and especially our veterans, our men and women that have served this country to bring your freedom so that we can do shows like this. And that's about it. Satsuma Produce Stand will be moving here pretty soon. You guys, gals, need to go there at East Palatka or in Satsuma. Satsuma Produce Stand will be moving here. They got their permission to move, but here in the next month or two, they will be moving about a mile down the road. I went there today, and they got some kick butt stuff going on. What does it say?
This is the guy correcting his statement.
Oh, okay. It says this post was removed. I put in Putman. I was told this would be a real radio. Okay, not signal.
It's not analog radio signal.
Oh, it's not analog radio signal. Okay. I don't know. I've been doing radio for 40 years, and I still don't understand it. But Sean, he said he's a firefighter. Thank you so much, Sean, for your dedication and your service to this county and wherever you're at. But thank you guys and gals for listening. We're going to get out of here. Let's see, who do we have closing out? This is Struggling With My Demons by Kurt Courtmeyer. He's one of our artists. He is out of, where's Kurt out of? I don't know. Up north someplace. You guys kick butt. Yeah, when you're looking through this, the one thing with what we do is we don't charge you guys and gals anything for listening or for Tammy doing the Putman Way and all the local news and stuff you guys get for nothing and no charge. But the one thing that will help build our economy back here, not only in Putman County, but all across the United States, is go with your local businesses. I love Amazon just as much as the next person. But when you look at the end of our show and you see these businesses scrolling out on there, support the local businesses. That's what destroyed this country. That's what will help bring it back. We'll see you guys and gals here back Friday night for What's Pissing Me Off. You need any other information, go back and read the thing or rewatch it on Facebook, YouTube, all of them. Good night. We love you guys and gals. We'll see you on Friday night.
I'd been that good guy way too long, followed every rule, holding back instead of acting like a full-grown fool. When bad intentions came to call, I firmly stood my ground, till one day I said, screw it all, and I turned my life around. Yeah, I told my better angels they could go piss up a rope, not come back unless they brought a sack of killer dope. I'm smoking packs of cigarettes and drinking quarts of beer, snuggling with my demons, and I kinda like it here. Now everything that's bad for me becomes my comfort food, and from time to time I take a pill to elevate my mood. I'm coveting my neighbor's ass and things that I can't have. I bathe myself in misery like it's medicated salve. Since I told my better angels they could go piss up a rope, not come back unless they brought a
I've still got a lot to learn from my own mistakes. I told my better angels they could go piss up a road, not come back unless they brought a sack of killer dope. I'm smoking packs of cigarettes and drinking quarts of beer, snuggling with my demons, and I kinda like it here. Yeah, I'm snuggling with my demons, and I kinda like it here. It's a real nice place. I kinda like it here. I don't care what Mama said. Intervention? What are you talking about?